Face it, Starfield haters, you've lost. Pack up, go home, because Bethesda are about to release the biggest update for Starfield yet. It's coming on January 17th, and drumroll please, what are we getting? Bug fixes. Only with Starfield could they be trying to hype people up about a hotfix, because that is literally all this is. 100 fixes and improvements, wow, this is totally incredible, and if we look at the details, the update contains a multitude of fixes to quests. It's basically stopping quests from being broken, and even when I tried to be optimistic and I thought, oh, are they improving the character creator? What are they doing here? No, it's literally just improving lighting and shadows. And for some reason, they've used a screenshot of the character creator as a before and after example. That's a little bit weird, but I could bore you to death with these patch notes, but there is literally nothing. You're getting a few fixes, and they're trying to call it the biggest update ever. Incredible. Maybe for Starfield, but compared to other games, this is pathetic. I remember Baldur's Gate 3, wasn't it getting like new endings at this stage? The game's been out now for 3 or 4 months or something, so you would expect that Starfield fans are a bit upset. They'd be expecting better, but nope, there's no helping them. It doesn't matter what they're being fed, they'll always find a way to praise it. And we can see here on the No Sodium Starfield subreddit, someone says here, I'm glad beta updates are becoming a thing. It actually gives the community a chance to talk about, oh, this wasn't a good change, but this was. And Bethesda can change what the final version of the update has. This is referring to the patch being released through the Steam beta program. I don't really know a lot about it, but this is all bug fixes. Why are you suggesting that there's going to be a big discussion around, oh, should they have done this change or shouldn't they? They're just fixing things that are essentially broken. There's no discussion here. This isn't like an MMO patch or something where they're adding in a whole ton of brand new content, new quests, new areas. It's just fixes. It's just lazy nonsense that should have been in the game when it came out, but as usual, as with most AAA games, they're rushed out the door. The problem with Starfield is it's fundamentally bad. It's not like, oh, this is a flawed gem, we've got to polish it. They're trying to polish a turd. That's about it. No one's going to be talking about it. And he continues, I'm really excited for the future on this game because of this. By the end of the update cycle, I fully believe we'll have an even better game compared to what we got before. Mind blown. Can you believe it? This prediction, this is a hot take. They're suggesting that after updates, the game might be better than when it was released. That is an insanely bold prediction. The only problem for you is that even after all these updates, the fundamentals of the game are going to be no good. There's nothing they can do about that, and all we can really hope for, if we're totally real with ourselves, that no one cares about these bug fixes, and they realize, you know what, we can do all the fixes in the world, but the design from the ground up, it was trash. It's best that we move on to the Elder Scrolls 6. I think that will be best for everyone. And this discussion board, No Sodium Starfield, they hate anyone negative, but I don't think I'm being negative in saying that. The game is just simply bad. I'm not saying that because I'm unbelievably mad. I'm going red like a tomato. I just want them to move on from something that has no hope. They just can't really fix this. Move on to the next game, remove the idiots from the team who are responsible for this. Even if it was Todd Howard, you've got to make some hard decisions. I don't know if Todd is responsible. I've heard in the past that he actually is a fan of old school RPGs, and he might not be the core problem, but heads do need to roll. The next game can't be this. It will end Bethesda, or it will probably end these types of games for a while. I'd like the Elder Scrolls 6 to be good, so please, just move on and go back to basics. You've got to get this right next time. And this discussion board's been coping for the last week or so. We've got here the top 10 Steam releases of 2023 by revenue, and we can see here down the bottom games like Jedi Survivor. I'm glad to see that that didn't go that well, because the PC release was absolutely hopeless. This was a game I was kind of looking forward to. I thought, yeah, I'll probably pick it up, maybe when it's on a sale or something. I don't need to get it day one, but apparently it's still pretty bad. It's got mixed reviews on Steam. It's just another example of a rubbish PC port, but because they failed here, maybe they'll think about that next time. They'll get it right. Then again, it's published by EA, so probably not. Armors of Rubicon, Armored Core 6, that did pretty well. That's nice. It's a pretty niche game, despite being a From Software title. I played it, I enjoyed it. we can see that Starfield is in third, 235 million. I don't know if these figures are 100% accurate, but it seems about right. I would expect this to be true. Now, the Copers on here, they're not just saying, hey, the game sold well, you're wrong if you think it was a financial flop. They're not really saying that. They're trying to claim that because it sold well, it guarantees that people love it, and anyone saying otherwise is in a silent, angry majority. That's it, $200+ million. Everyone loved it. Anyone who says otherwise is totally wrong. Now, that is a ludicrous notion because this game did not sell on word of mouth. It didn't even sell because of critic reviews. They were okay, but they were nothing special. It purely sold based on past Bethesda work. Games like Skyrim, even the Fallouts to an extent. Before this, Bethesda, at least the main teams there, they'd only really had one big flop, which was Fallout 76. And yeah, maybe it's improved somewhat over the years, but when it came out, it was totally garbage. Everyone was clouding on it. I can't believe it was like 6 years ago. After the disaster that was that game, people like myself were huffing the copium. I was fooled by this. They managed to convince us that the A team, Todd Howard's team, was not responsible for Fallout 76. And therefore, all we had to go off was, oh, the last game from Todd's team was Fallout 4. They've spent 7, 8 years, something like that, on Starfield. Surely it's got to be good. This is Todd Howard's passion project. And that's why it sold. We were under the impression that this team had a good track record, given it was a B team or something responsible for Fallout 76. So this is definitely worth a shot. I thought, yeah, I'll buy it early access. That can't be a big risk, can it? At worst, it'll be Fallout 4 in space. That'll be alright, even if it's not a massively in-depth RPG. And of course, I couldn't have been more wrong. It was a magnitude worse than Fallout 4. All the fun stuff of that game was basically taken out of this, given the lack of exploration. Now, I wasn't totally fooling myself. I don't think Bethesda have really made an in-depth RPG in a long time. You've got to go back to, say, a Morrowind to find that. But I've found enjoyment in the exploration side of Bethesda games. I love exploration in most games, and I find fun there. So when there's no depth in the RPG side of things, there's no exploration, Bethesda basically have nothing. So even though it sold well, the proof is going to be in The Elder Scrolls 6. How is that going to sell? I'm sure it will do very well no matter what, because there's just going to be so many casual fans who don't even really know that the company who made their beloved Skyrim made this Starfield mess that everyone's talking about. Casual fans will just have no idea, so they will buy it, but I just have this feeling it's not really going to be the juggernaut that Skyrim was. Maybe it'll sell more at launch, but just comparing the cultural phenomenon that Skyrim was at the time, I'd be very surprised if The Elder Scrolls 6 can match that, unless heads do massively roll, there's a huge shift, and Bethesda basically start again from the design side of things. They can't just do another, let's roll out the creation engine, let's do all the same things. Not saying they have to get rid of the whole engine, there are some strengths with it, but they have to do something fundamentally different if they want to have any chance, if they want to reach the heights of Baldur's Gate 3, because we can see here it's done almost triple the number of sales, which is incredible, given that I never would have predicted Larian to be a mainstream studio, and you can see exactly what must have happened. Starfield and Baldur's Gate probably had similar sales numbers out the door, but the word of mouth for Baldur's Gate has just kept it selling, it's kept that train going, and that's why it's up there at the top. Meanwhile, you go to the Starfield Steam page, mostly negative reviews. It's probably not selling that well anymore, and I think Starfield has had 30% discounts, whereas Baldur's Gate has had barely any discounts. It doesn't need them. I think it got like a 10% off over Christmas. That's about it. That's all it needs. Quality game. People are going to buy it at full price. There is one more bit of coping I want to bring to your attention, and that is this article that did the rounds, basically saying that Starfield has more hours played this year compared to Baldur's Gate 3. So more people potentially played more hours of Starfield than Baldur's Gate 3. And I'm not sure exactly if those numbers are genuinely accurate, but let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's let them have that Special Olympics victory lap that they want so much. And we'll say it's true. Why would this be the case? Why would more people have played Starfield than Baldur's Gate? Well, the first reason would be Starfield is on Game Pass, meaning so many people, whether it's on PC or Xbox, they can literally just jump in and give it a go without really having to spend any money. That's why Microsoft have been going on about the player metrics so much. They barely mention sales figures. They haven't done so for most of their services. They don't report Game Pass subscription numbers anymore. It's pretty much just how many people are playing games, which is totally pointless for really gauging success, because if you don't have a lot of money and you just play Starfield because it's on the service, it doesn't really tell you if someone really enjoyed it or not. And I know there's that old meme which is like, oh, you've got 120 hours logged and you're saying it's a total piece of shit. But I think with Starfield, it's kind of true to an extent, because if you jump into the game, you're not just going to immediately go, this sucks, I'm getting out of it. It might feel a little bit clunky like prior Bethesda games, but you're going to be giving it a genuine chance. Most of their titles have pretty boring, streamlined intros with not a lot of excitement. But you keep progressing through the main story, you do some side quests, you go to some planets, and you start getting that inkling feeling of, oh, something's not right here, the exploration's not feeling good, what's gonna happen? But you go online and Todd, other people are telling you, you've just gotta put more hours in, you'll hit that sweet spot of around 170 hours, that's when you're gonna start having fun. So you continue to huff the copium, and then finally you have that epiphany, and you just go, you know what, this game is no good. Many people did it, but they might have played dozens, maybe 50, 60 hours until they finally accepted that. And they look back and go, you know what, I didn't really have that much fun. I was trying to get to the good stuff, and it just never came. People did it because they had so much fun with something like Skyrim that they probably put thousands of hours in over the years, some people, and they just couldn't find that in Starfield. So the player metrics, the hours, they're not going to tell us a lot. It's going to be the aftermath. Will people be excited about the Elder Scrolls 6, or will it be pretty subdued? And of course, you've got the usual suspects here, who despite complaining about Starfield haters, they go, oh, why are you just complaining about a game you don't like? Shut up, try and be more positive. Despite that, they spend a whole page whinging about Baldur's Gate 3 and trying to convince themselves it's the worst game ever. Oh, people are hyping it up because they've got no idea. Starfield should be number one. And this person here says, to that point, I took one look at Baldur's Gate 3 gameplay after all the hype and said, absolutely fucking not. I fucking hate that style of game. It looks terrible, completely not fun to me personally. Why would I want any depth in my RPG? Why would I want to actually have to think? I want my handheld. I want Todd's dick in my mouth. I want the cozy Bethesda experience. Starfield, on the other hand, absolutely loved it. One of my most played games of 2023. A couple of 100 hours easily. This keeps going. That's how these people feel. Starfield's getting a hot fix. That's about it. And yet these people will absolutely lap it up. Thanks so much for listening. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.